I have been married to my husband for the past 12 years, and during that time, many things have happened, some good, and others not so great. My husband is a genuinely loving and caring man who has never once raised his voice at me. He was the kind of husband every woman would dream of, attentive, supportive, and kind. But perhaps, I took all of that for granted. Realizing just how much he loved me, I allowed myself to take control of everything in our marriage. I started picking fights with him over trivial things, believing I had to assert my dominance to avoid being controlled by him. Most of this behavior was fueled by advice from my friends, who constantly warned me about letting a man rule my life. They told me that if I didn't fight for control, I'd end up miserable in my marriage. Not only did I start these unnecessary battles, but I also began deliberately misusing his hard-earned money. I would run the air conditioners, heaters, and other appliances for hours just to rack up our bills. I wanted to frustrate him to the point of exhaustion, hoping he'd get tired of me and file for divorce. You see, many of my friends were members of what they jokingly called the Divorced Single Mothers Association. They glorified their newfound independence and freedom, constantly boasting about how much better life was without a man telling them what to do. They painted such an alluring picture of this carefree life that I let their words cloud my judgment. But now, everything has spiraled out of control. My husband, the same man who once adored me, has finally had enough. We're currently going through the divorce process, and I can see the hurt and disappointment in his eyes. I realize now how deeply I've hurt him and how much I've destroyed the love we once shared. To make matters worse, two of the same friends who encouraged me to join the freedom movement have now gone back to their husbands, seeking reconciliation. They've left the group entirely and are working on rebuilding their marriages. Seeing this, I was hit with a painful realization: I've made a terrible mistake. I recently tried to apologize to my husband. I poured my heart out and admitted how wrong I was. I told him I didn't want to lose him and that I genuinely love him. But he wasn't moved. He said he couldn't be with me anymore, and I could see the pain in his eyes. Now, I'm desperate. How do I convince the man I love, the man I wronged so deeply, that I'm truly sorry? How do I make him believe that I've changed and that I'll never take him for granted again?